Chapter 26-23 Fighting the Skies. 4. Sister Yiyu, I don't see anything either, Feng Wuyin said as well. Yi Qingtang's expression became puzzled as she heard this. What on earth is happening? She muttered. How is it possible that she was the only one who could see such a huge figure and no one else could see it? The huge figure soon opened its eyes. Its eyes were blood red and seemed to hold the universe in them as it looked down gravely at the Heavenly Emperor. In an instant, the shadowy figure raised its eyes, and the calamity of wrath fell all around them. A bolt of blood-red lightning as thick as a 100-year-old tree shot straight towards the Heavenly Emperor. Boom, boom, boom! Explosive sounds shook the skies as the bolt of lightning landed squarely on the Heavenly Emperor. The bright light around the Heavenly Emperor faded a little. The Heavenly Emperor's lips curled into a smile as he said, "Fighting with the skies. How fun." Back in the Feng family arena, Yi Qingtang's expression was getting stranger and stranger. She could clearly see the shadowy figure using its eyes to control the calamity of wrath as it attacked the Heavenly Emperor. What's happening? She could no longer understand what was happening. Even as she observed the people around her carefully, she realized that none of them seemed to be able to see the shadowy figure in the sky. Their eyes were all fixated on the Heavenly Emperor. Could it be that? She had a sudden thought. Originally, she hadn't noticed the shadowy figure. It was only after the great Tao power filled her with strength that she was able to see it. So she put away the power within her. Her snow-white hair reverted to normal, and her eyes went back to normal as well. She looked up at the skies again after putting the great Tao power away. What she saw stunned her. The huge, shadowy figure had disappeared, and the only thing left in her sight was the calamity of wrath. There was no one there at Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. All. Without thinking any further, she quickly let the great Tao power wash over her again and looked up at the sky again. Her brows furrowed deeply. The shadowy figure with blood-red eyes had reappeared once again. She finally understood what was happening. As long as she had the great Tao power within her, she would be able to see things that she couldn't normally see, like the shadowy figure. She had no idea if the Heavenly Emperor could see the shadowy figure, but she was certain that the Feng family members and the other strong practitioners around them could not see the shadowy figure. If the heavenly demon devouring bloodline had not devoured the heart of the heavenly Tao, she wouldn't have been able to tell if anything was strange at all and wouldn't be able to see the huge shadowy figure with its blood-red eye containing the universe. As Yi Qingtang looked at the huge figure, the blood-red eyes seemed to notice something was amiss, and it slowly moved to look at Yi Qingtang. As soon as the eyes fell on her, her pupils suddenly shrank as every part of her body started shaking. A primal fear gripped her heart, and she almost fell from the air. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A, and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 26-24 That Unparalleled Strike. 1. At that moment, she quickly retracted her gaze. She dared not look into those blood-red eyes. Reigning in the mounting anxiety in her heart, she acted as though nothing was wrong, as though she had not noticed the figure at all. Meanwhile, the blood-red eyes stared at her, evaluating her for a long time. After noticing that nothing was wrong, it turned its gaze away from her and back to the Heavenly Emperor. It was only then that she allowed herself to breathe a sigh of relief as she noticed that the shadowy figure was no longer looking at her. When their eyes met just now, she felt an immense sense of oppression, which seemed to have carved itself into her bones. It was like nothing she had ever experienced before. She had no idea what the shadowy figure was, but could confirm one thing. The calamity of wrath was being controlled by that shadowy figure. Not only that, the figure did not belong to this world and was from some otherworldly area. She thanked her lucky stars that the shadowy figure was no longer fixated on her. Otherwise, there was no telling what might happen. Furthermore, she needed the great Tao power to see the figure. Without it, she was just like the people around her, with no idea about the shadowy figure's existence. How strange. What was the shadowy figure after? It could control the calamity of wrath and had brought down countless immortal emperor-level practitioners. Was the shadowy figure there to prevent the immortal emperor-level practitioners from ascending the path to heaven? Of course, this was merely her guess and might not be true. It was hard for her to truly understand what was going on. Boom, boom. Before she could ponder this further, thunderous booms filled the sky. Every time the lightning from the calamity of wrath struck, the light around the heavenly emperor would dim. It's the seventh bolt from calamity of wrath already. One of the practitioners observing the situation shouted in agitation. The number of immortal emperors who could withstand 7 bolts of lightning from the calamity of wrath could be counted on one hand. Many immortal emperors were already on the verge of being destroyed after the 3rd or 4th bolt of lightning. They were usually unable to withstand the 5th to 6th bolt and would be turned to ashes. Yet this heavenly emperor had already withstood 7 bolts. But before long, Tang looked up above the void, only to see the shadowy figure controlling the thunderclouds. The 8th bolt of lightning seemed to be imminent. And indeed, soon after that another martial arts practitioner pointed at the thunderclouds above the void and said in shock, "Quick, look, the 8th bolt." There were 10 bolts of heavenly tribulation in total from the calamity of wrath. Visit Me for extra chapters. But up till today, they had never heard of any immortal emperors being able to withstand all 10 bolts from the calamity of wrath before. Most of them had fallen before the 7th bolt. Today, the heavenly emperor was facing his 8th bolt from the calamity of wrath. The 8th blood-colored lightning bolt from the calamity of wrath was immensely stronger than the 7th bolt and was much more concentrated in intensity. Even Tang, who was standing within the Feng family's arena, could feel the destructive power contained in the 8th bolt. The power felt strong enough to destroy anything standing in its way. At that moment, the deafening noise of the thunder shook the void endlessly. Yet the heavenly emperor stood facing the 8th bolt of lightning about to fall with no fear in his eyes. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 26-25, That Unparalleled Strike. 2. Within the Feng family arena, Tang looked at the heavenly emperor with a feeling of unease in her heart. She knew that the heavenly emperor had to get through this. If he didn't, she wouldn't be able to meet his clone in her lifetime, and this wouldn't be fair to her brother at all. But looking at the terrifying calamity of wrath, she was filled with worry. Furthermore, while the heavenly emperor didn't recognize Tang, she had not forgotten him at all. Tang had never seen the heavenly emperor in this lifetime, but she still treated him as the blood moon holy lord that she knew, the little brother who spoke very little and was very cheap. "It's here," one of the practitioners called out as she was still in deep thought. Soon, the 8th bolt of lightning appeared in the sky like a blood dragon and headed straight towards the heavenly emperor. Boom! A great sound shook the skies. As everyone looked on, the heavenly emperor raised his hands slightly and the light in front of him started to form golden patterns into an old totem. The totem harbored massive power and protected the heavenly emperor behind it. The 8th bolt of lightning quickly struck him. It first struck the huge totem of light in front of the heavenly emperor savagely. Bang! As the 8th bolt of lightning struck, the bright totem light quickly dissipated in front of their very eyes. After that, the 8th bolt of lightning continued its route towards the heavenly emperor, its power not having been diminished at all. But this time, the 8th bolt landed on the golden totem in front of the heavenly emperor. There was the sound of a mirror shattering. They all looked on as the golden totem around the heavenly emperor shattered. Oh my God! At that moment, the practitioners all looked in awe at the heavenly emperor in the sky. He had withstood the 8th bolt from the calamity of wrath. Tang sighed in relief as she saw this. She had to admit that the heavenly emperor had a terrifying defense. Although the eighth bolt from the Calamity of Wrath was extremely scary, the Heavenly Emperor's two totems had managed to block it. It was a pity that they were no longer there. After a long time of thunder rumbling, the ninth bolt was forming in the storm clouds. The ninth bolt was much more terrifying than the previous bolt. The power harnessed was way stronger, and it was more condensed as well. Yi Qingtang felt chills all over her body as she stood in the Feng family arena. Seeing that many of them were worried, she waved her hand and used her great Dao power to dissipate the power of the ninth bolt that was seeping all around them. "How do you feel?" Yi Qingtang asked Feng Jiuyo and Feng Wuyin. "Sister Yiyu, I feel so much better," Feng Wuyin said. "Sister Yiyu, how did you do that? I thought I was about to be ripped to shreds just now." "The ninth bolt is just too terrifying," Feng Jiuyo said fearfully. "Everything is all right as long as you're all fine. Step back so you don't get hurt by it," she reminded them. As soon as she said that, the people from the Feng family all retreated. Chapter 26:26, That Unparalleled Strike. 3. Just as Yi Qingtang had said, the Calamity of Wrath was powerful enough to make them feel it. Since the Feng family home was closer to the Calamity of Wrath, they could feel its might more clearly. At that moment, she looked at the void with a grave expression. Even though the Heavenly Emperor had only just withstood the eighth bolt, the ninth bolt was already hanging in the sky. More and more martial arts practitioners back away for fear that they would be hurt. Yi Qingtang was curious as well as to whether the Heavenly Emperor would be able to withstand the ninth bolt in this lifetime. After the ninth bolt, there was still the 10th bolt. She couldn't begin to imagine how powerful the 10th bolt would be. The Heavenly Emperor floated above the void with his white hair floating all around him, his hands by his side. With the blood-colored lightning around him, he looked like an earth-shattering demon who was about to declare war on the skies. It was a sight that made people gasp with awe, but she had to say that she was filled with respect for the Heavenly Emperor who was floating above the void. He was facing the Calamity of Wrath so calmly. How many people in this world could be like him? But before she could think of anything more, the ninth bolt of lightning from the Calamity of Wrath formed, and a great sense of oppression formed all around it. The huge, shadowy figure directed the lightning toward the Heavenly Emperor. In the next second, the only thing they could hear was the deafening noise of the thunder. In front of their very eyes, the ninth bolt of lightning carved through the sky and slammed into the Heavenly Emperor, dyeing him in blood red. After a few moments, the ninth bolt disappeared. Everyone was stunned as they looked slowly at the Heavenly Emperor. What they saw was a trace of blood on the corner of his mouth, yet he remained still. The heavenly tribulation around him was being slowly absorbed by him. The Heavenly Emperor is absorbing the power of the ninth bolt from the Calamity of Wrath. One of the practitioners exclaimed in surprise. Absorbing the ninth bolt, visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Yi Qingtang seemed to be pondering something from what she could see. The Heavenly Emperor wasn't absorbing the Calamity of Wrath, but was dissolving its power slowly with some ability of his. The Heavenly Emperor is exceptional, Yi Qingtang muttered under her breath. Another person would have been destroyed by the ninth bolt from the Calamity of Wrath. The Heavenly Emperor was extremely intelligent to have used his own power to dissolve it. Not only that, his physical defense was already on a frightening level. With the Heavenly Emperor dissolving the last bolt, the shadowy figure behind the thunder clouds glared at him with blood-red eyes. The last bolt quickly formed behind the thunder clouds. The whole sky turned blood-red quickly, and they could no longer tell whether it was day or night. The 10th bolt let out a terrifying noise, as though it was a mountain cracking open, and hurled quickly towards the Heavenly Emperor. At the same moment, a light appeared in the Heavenly Emperor's eyes, and he instantly turned into a golden dragon. The golden dragon collided with the 10th bolt from the Calamity of Wrath. Chapter 26:27, That Unparalleled Strike. 4. Everyone was stunned at the sight of this. It was the first time they had seen the Heavenly Emperor turn into a golden dragon. Is the Heavenly Emperor not human? One of the practitioners stared at the heavenly emperor who had transformed into a golden dragon above the void. He was dumbfounded. No one knew much about the heavenly emperor, and there had never been rumors that the heavenly emperor was related to the golden dragon before. Yi Qingtang looked slightly doubtful as she looked at the golden dragon that the heavenly emperor had turned into, but didn't seem to be his body. It seemed to be some sort of blood magic, but Yi Qingtang had no idea what it actually was. The golden dragon looked huge within the void. It roared loudly, and the earth seemed to shake. The shadowy figure behind the clouds stared at the golden dragon that the heavenly emperor had morphed into with a glint in its eye. Even though the 10th bolt was extremely powerful, for now, it had nothing to do with the golden dragon. Light reflected off the dragon's scales as though it was trying to devour everything. Boom! A loud noise surrounded the entire arena as the 10th bolt from the Calamity of Wrath struck the back of the golden dragon directly. The golden dragon roared in fury, and the breath of destruction surrounded the 10th bolt, trapping it within a sealed space. Yet after a few breaths, the 10th bolt broke free and shot towards the golden dragon. That is the last bolt of heavenly tribulation from the Calamity of Wrath. Will the heavenly emperor be able to withstand it? The practitioners from afar were all utterly dumbfounded. They had never heard of an immortal emperor being able to withstand all 10 bolts before. Don't tell me the heavenly emperor is really going to be able to withstand the 10th bolt. Has he already successfully ascended to the heavens? Once the elders swallowed, judging by the current situation, the golden dragon that the heavenly emperor had morphed into had extraordinary might. Be it defensive or offensive power, it had already reached a height unimaginable to most people. It was amazing that the golden dragon could float in the void without being destroyed after being struck by the 10th bolt. Look at that. The light from the 10th bolt is slowly dimming. One of the younger martial arts practitioners pointed at the sky and said, as soon as the words were out of his mouth, everyone turned to look at where he was pointing. Just as he said, the color from the Calamity of Wrath was slowly fading, and the power was emanating seemed to be diminishing as well. But they could see that the golden dragon was also riddled with wounds. The only unchanging thing was its eyes, which were still glinting coldly and indifferently. He was fighting the skies. Yi Qingtang assessed the situation in the Feng family arena and wasn't as worried as before. Judging from the current situation, after the heavenly emperor had morphed into the golden dragon, if nothing went wrong, he should be able to withstand the 10th bolt. But what made her curious was what was going to happen after he withstood the last bolt. Any immortal emperor was qualified to ascend to heaven as long as they could withstand all 10 bolts from the Calamity of Wrath. Chapter 26-28, That Unparalleled Strike, 5. At that moment, Yi Qingtang was almost certain that the heavenly emperor was already invincible. It would probably only be a matter of time before he survived the 10th heavenly tribulation. In that case, it would only be a matter of time before the heavenly emperor would be able to ascend to the heavens. However, Yi Qingtang was a little puzzled. Although she did not know what happened in this era, she was certain that the heavenly emperor still existed in her own era. Could it be that her previous conjecture was not right? As the saying went, one could ascend to the heavens only after surviving the 10th heavenly tribulation. The most important part of ascending to the heavens was not like what she had imagined it to be. If the heavenly emperor did not survive the 10th heavenly tribulation, it would have been impossible for the heavenly emperor to exist in Yi Qingtang's era. On the other hand, if the heavenly emperor survived the 10th heavenly tribulation and ascended the heavens to the upper realm, the heavenly emperor would not be in Yi Qingtang's era either for a moment there. Yi Qingtang was even more puzzled. She did not know what would happen. Yi Qingtang knew very little about the heavenly emperor. Moreover, there were very few records of supreme beings like the heavenly emperor and Han Songming. Look, the 10th heavenly tribulation is about to disperse. Before Yi Qingtang could think further, an excited shout snapped her out of her reverie. Along with their gazes, the divine might of the 10th heavenly tribulation had decreased to be nearly on par with the 9th. Moreover, the luster of the 10th heavenly tribulation was growing dimmer, and was almost transparent. Is that it? In the sky, the Heavenly Emperor was facing the attack of the 10th Heavenly Tribulation. However, this time, the Heavenly Emperor had no intention of dodging. His huge golden dragon body changed rapidly. Before long, the Heavenly Emperor returned to his original form. The clothes on the upper half of the Heavenly Emperor's body had already been torn to shreds, and he was covered with streaks of blood. His snow-white long hair was also soaked in blood. He looked like an unprecedented great demon god. Boom! A loud bang shook the surroundings. Faced with the full force of the 10th Heavenly Tribulation, the Heavenly Emperor did not dodge at all. He took a step forward, his eyes erupting with a terrifying cold light. In front of everyone, his right palm grabbed the 10th Heavenly Tribulation. "It's over," Yi Qingtang muttered. It seemed that the Heavenly Emperor had indeed survived all the attacks of the Heavenly Tribulation. Then what would happen next? From the corner of her eye, Yi Qingtang happened to see a huge shadow behind the thundercloud, and she also saw the huge shadow's arm rising slightly. What is that shadow doing? An ominous premonition surged in Yi Qingtang's heart when she saw that. In the next second, the shadowy right arm blasted towards the Heavenly Emperor. "Be careful!" Arm without any time to think, Yi Qingtang shouted at the Heavenly Emperor. The Heavenly Emperor's gaze landed on Yi Qingtang. For a split second, he looked confused, but he recovered almost instantly. The Heavenly Emperor quickly retreated and shielded himself with his arm. Boom! A thunderous explosion rang out. A look of shock appeared in the Heavenly Emperor's eyes. Chapter 26-29, That Unparalleled Strike. 6. An indescribable pressure instantly enveloped the Heavenly Emperor. At that moment, the crowd present had baffled expressions. 10th Heavenly Tribulation had dissipated. Why did the Heavenly Emperor seem to have suffered some kind of heavy blow? Apart from the Heavenly Emperor, there was no one else in the sky. They did not see anyone attack the Heavenly Emperor. What happened? That muffled sound just now, am I seeing things? Was the Heavenly Emperor just defending himself? Could it be that the 10th Heavenly Tribulation hasn't dissipated? Others might not have seen it, but Yi Qingtang saw it clearly. The shadow behind the thundercloud had suddenly attacked the Heavenly Emperor. If the Heavenly Emperor had not reacted in time, the consequences would have been dire. The Heavenly Emperor's actions proved that he did not detect the blood-red eyes of that shadow behind the thundercloud. Even a mortal Emperor-level practitioner like the Heavenly Emperor could not see it. Yi Qingtang pondered in her heart and grew increasingly astounded. Where did that shadow come from, and what was the meaning of its existence? Just one strike from it was already a huge threat to the Heavenly Emperor. However, before Yi Qingtang could think further, a blood-colored light appeared around the shadow. In the next second, it waved its huge fist and punched the Heavenly Emperor again. Boom! The loud boom echoed in all directions. This time, even Yi Qingtang did not have the time to shout out a warning. The shadow's speed was really too fast. It was so fast that it exceeded the limits of Yi Qingtang's understanding. Even though Yi Qingtang had a pair of heavenly Dao eyes, it was difficult to capture the shadow's movements. The Heavenly Emperor's body plummeted. In midair, he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Swoosh! The Heavenly Emperor, who was falling, used the blood on his body to condense a blood pearl. His eyes flickered with a terrifying cold light as that blood pearl struck the space between the eyebrows of the shadow. What's going on? Who? Is the Heavenly Emperor fighting? Did the Heavenly Emperor lose? At that moment, the crowd below was in disbelief. Other than the Heavenly Emperor, they could not see anything else. Apart from Yi Qingtang, no one knew what was happening to the Heavenly Emperor. In the next second, the blood pearl condensed by the Heavenly Emperor exploded between the brows of the shadow. A monstrous flame burned and created steam in the surrounding air. Did the Heavenly Emperor discover that shadow? Yi Qingtang frowned and pondered. After a while, Yi Qingtang shook her head quietly. The Heavenly Emperor did not seem to have discovered the shadow. He had just instinctively attacked in the direction of the shadow. The shadow wriggled its body frantically as if the Heavenly Emperor's strike had injured it. Soon, the shadow disappeared into the void. Meanwhile, the Heavenly Emperor fell into the deep forest in the distance. Seeing that, Yi Qingtang instantly flew into the sky and towards the direction where the Heavenly Emperor had fallen. Yi Qingtang was not the only one. Several other powerful auras also rushed from afar towards the Heavenly Emperor. There were many Emperor-level experts in the vicinity. Many of them had been hiding in the dark and watching. They had been waiting for the Heavenly Emperor to fail the 10th Heavenly Tribulation. An immortal emperor's body would be filled with treasures, so if he died, his corpse would be a treasure trove. To emperor-level practitioners, it was extremely attractive. Even if it was risky, as long as there was the hope of obtaining this treasure trove, they would do their best to fight for it. Clearly, the emperor-level experts who had been hiding in the dark believed that the Heavenly Emperor would not be able to endure the 10th Heavenly Tribulation. Perhaps he had already died. This would be the best opportunity for them to raid the Heavenly Emperor. Yi Qingtang's body streaked across the sky, and she turned into a white shadow. In the blink of an eye, she had already disappeared. About 15 minutes later, in an open canyon deep in the forest, thick smoke was rising into the sky, accompanied by strange, sizzling sounds. There was a huge depression below, about 100 feet in diameter. The Heavenly Emperor was lying in it. Yi Qingtang was the first to arrive. She frowned when she saw the Heavenly Emperor in the deep pit in the valley. After a while, Yi Qingtang landed on the ground. She was not bothered by the approaching auras. Upon landing, Yi Qingtang walked to the side of the deep pit, and her gaze landed on the motionless Heavenly Emperor, whose body was still emitting white smoke. It had to be said that this scene felt very familiar. Yi Qingtang still remembered that when she first met the Blood Moon Holy Lord on the first mainland of the Blue Sky Domain, it was very similar to what she was seeing now. It seemed that history liked to repeat itself. Yi Qingtang did not rashly approach the Heavenly Emperor, but observed from the side. She did not know how badly injured the Heavenly Emperor was. If she approached him just like that, she might be attacked. She did not want to take such a huge and meaningless risk. Before long, several figures flickered in the air as the Emperor-level experts arrived. The Emperor-level practitioners were stunned to see a woman standing near the Heavenly Emperor. They did not expect someone to be even faster than them and arrive before them. "Who are you? Are you here to raid the Immortal Emperor?" One of the practitioners asked as his gaze landed on Yi Qingtang. These Emperor-level practitioners did not know Yi Qingtang and did not know her background, so they were rather cautious. Yi Qingtang looked up at the Emperor-level figures and said, "The Heavenly Emperor has not died yet. There's no need to talk about raiding. Leave immediately." The Emperor-level practitioners were stunned. This woman of unknown origin was young, but her tone was bold. To think that she was commanding the Emperor-level figures to leave immediately. Why? Do you want to keep the corpse of the immortal Emperor for yourself? One of the Emperor-level experts glared at Yi Qingtang and shouted coldly. Was I not clear enough? Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. Didn't I say just now that the Heavenly Emperor is not dead? Whether he is dead or alive is not for you to say. Even if he is still alive, he is heavily injured and will die sooner or later. You are still young. Why don't you leave now and avoid an unnecessary calamity? The leading Emperor-level figure said coldly. If they could obtain the treasures of this immortal emperor, there was a high chance that one of them could become a new immortal emperor. Now, this unknown woman wanted to send them away with just a few words. It was obvious that she wanted to take the Heavenly Emperor's corpse for herself. How could they possibly allow this? Everyone, why don't we do this? Although we can't tell the depth of this woman's strength, in order to avoid trouble, we should work together to eliminate this woman first. As for how to split the corpse of the Heavenly Emperor later, that will depend on our individual abilities, one of the Emperor-level practitioners suggested. Agreed. I have no objections either. In that case, let's attack. Several Emperor-level practitioners leaped towards Yi Qingtang from the sky. They were so fast that it was difficult to catch them with the naked eye. However, the first Emperor-level practitioner who suggested this did not attack Yi Qingtang. While the others were attacking Yi Qingtang, his lips curled up slightly. He immediately turned around and flew towards the Heavenly Emperor who was in the deep pit on the ground. "What are you doing?" One of the Emperor-level practitioners shouted in anger. The others who were surrounding Yi Qingtang stopped in midair and looked at the Emperor-level practitioner rushing into the deep pit. "That old fool tricked us into attacking that woman, while he takes the opportunity to get at the corpse of the Heavenly Emperor." The Emperor-level practitioners immediately ignored Yi Qingtang and flew towards the Heavenly Emperor who was in the deep pit on the ground. No matter what, they must not let that trickster's scheme succeed. In just a few breaths, the others arrived at the deep pit on the ground. They all wanted to get close to the Heavenly Emperor in the shortest time possible. The corpse of the Heavenly Emperor was like a huge treasure trove. Anyone who could obtain the Heavenly Emperor's body would have a high chance of becoming a new immortal emperor. Who would be willing to miss such an opportunity? However, just as the Emperor-level practitioners approached the Heavenly Emperor, and before they could do anything, the Heavenly Emperor, who was supposed to be dead, stood up. He looked at everyone with his bone-chilling eyes. Heavenly Emperor, the Emperor-level practitioners were shocked and in disbelief. "This, Heavenly Emperor, how is this possible?" One of the Emperor-level practitioners stared at the Heavenly Emperor, his eyes filled with shock and fear. How could the Heavenly Emperor survive the 10th Heavenly Tribulation? At this moment, a cold glint flashed across the Heavenly Emperor's eyes. Before the Emperor-level experts knew what was happening, their bodies were torn apart and turned to dust. In the distance, Yi Qingtang stared at the Heavenly Emperor and frowned slightly. She had been right not to approach the Heavenly Emperor earlier. Otherwise, she would probably end up the same as those Emperor-level practitioners. How could it be so easy to raid an immortal emperor? Even if he really died in the 10th Heavenly Tribulation, his body would transform into an extremely dangerous deity ocean. Before Yi Qingtang could think further, the Heavenly Emperor's body collapsed again. At that moment, Yi Qingtang slowly approached the deep pit. She still had to be careful. Those Emperor-level practitioners who wanted the corpse of the immortal emperor, they were a lesson to be learned. In fact, Yi Qingtang had already given those fools a hint when she told them that the Heavenly Emperor was not dead, but they had been overwhelmed by their desires and died as a result. Soon after, Yi Qingtang walked into the deep pit. She had already decided that she would leave immediately if there were any abnormal movements. This was to ensure that she would not suffer an undeserved catastrophe. Even in his current state, the Heavenly Emperor was still extremely powerful. He had just casually slain several Emperor-level practitioners with barely any discernible movement. From that alone, it was clear how terrifying he was. As the saying goes, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Although Yi Qingtang was not far from the Heavenly Emperor, she spent a good half an hour slowly approaching him. Upon closer inspection, the Heavenly Emperor had indeed fainted. He was lying bare-chested in the deep pit, and his long hair, which was covered in blood, hung loosely. Even so, he still exuded a faint suppressive aura. As Yi Qingtang approached the Heavenly Emperor and crouched down to check his injuries. Although Yi Qingtang knew that it was impossible for anything to happen to the Heavenly Emperor, she was still worried. Is this the power of the Heavenly Tribulation? Yi Qingtang stared at the Heavenly Emperor and frowned. The Heavenly Emperor's body contained an extremely large amount of destructive energy. It seemed that it was also because of this energy that although the Heavenly Emperor's physique was extremely powerful, he was unable to self-heal quickly. Yi Qingtang placed her palm gently on the Heavenly Emperor's back. This destructive force might be unbearable for the Heavenly Emperor, but it was extremely nutritious for Yi Qingtang. Actually, Yi Qingtang was not interested in the Heavenly Emperor's destructive force at all. However, her heavenly demon bloodline was salivating for it. Moreover, if she did not remove this destructive energy from the Heavenly Emperor's body, even if the Heavenly Emperor recovered in the future, it would leave behind a hidden malady, killing two birds with one stone. Why not? Without any hesitation, Yi Qingtang immediately activated the power of the heavenly demon bloodline in her body and began to absorb the destructive force in the heavenly emperor's body. As the heavenly demon devouring bloodline devoured the power of destruction, Yi Qingtang could feel its joy. About an hour later, Yi Qingtang's entire body was soaked in a cold sweat. It was difficult for Yi Qingtang's body to withstand the process of the heavenly demon bloodline absorbing this destructive force. Yi Qingtang stared at the heavenly emperor meaningfully. Just this residual destructive energy was already very difficult for her to handle. It was impossible to imagine how the heavenly emperor had managed to block the full power of the heavenly tribulation. In fact, if not for the shadow behind that thundercloud suddenly attacking him, the heavenly emperor might have already completed his so-called ascension. Just as she finished absorbing all the destructive energy from the heavenly emperor's body, Yi Qingtang accidentally activated her heavenly demon devouring bloodline and was about to devour the heavenly emperor's original energy. Yi Qingtang hurriedly withdrew the heavenly demon devouring bloodline. If she allowed it to continue, both she and the heavenly emperor would be in big trouble. All in all, Yi Qingtang was rather helpless. This heavenly demon-devouring bloodline was completely different from the divine phoenix bloodline. It was an extreme manifestation of overbearingness and wanted to devour the heavens and the earth. Previously, the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline was too weak to have so many tricks up its sleeves. But now, the heavenly demon bloodline had become more powerful and it no longer had any restraints. Chapter 2633 Han Kangming's Ambush 4. Yi Qingtang was also very helpless about this. Fortunately, the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline was not completely uncontrollable. Otherwise, Yi Qingtang would probably have to give up this forbidden bloodline. It was not without reason that the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline was classified as an emergency bloodline. Even Yi Qingtang was a little afraid of it. It was too overwhelming. Before Yi Qingtang could think further, an unexpected chuckle echoed across the air. Yi Qingtang immediately stood up and surveyed her surroundings. However, it was all empty and Yi Qingtang did not see anyone. As expected, so, it's the forbidden bloodline, the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline. The voice rang out again. Don't play tricks. Show yourself. Yi Qingtang was expressionless as she spoke coldly. As you wish. In the next second, the void beside Yi Qingtang shattered and a silver wolf covered in black fog walked out. Yi Qingtang stared at the huge silver wolf and frowned. It looked rather familiar. Soon, the huge silver wolf transformed into a human. When she saw that person's appearance, Yi Qingtang was surprised. Demon God, Han Sangming. Han Sangming was slightly taken aback by Yi Qingtang's words. His lips curled up as he stared at Yi Qingtang in confusion. Demon God, this title is not bad. Han Kangming's gaze landed on the heavenly emperor. He chuckled softly. Is this what you call endless joy by battling the heavens? How pitiful. Yi Qingtang looked at Han Sangming, not knowing what to say. In this distant era, she did not have any connections to Han Sangming at all. Now that she was facing an immortal emperor at the same level as the heavenly emperor, Yi Qingtang felt quite pressured. Furthermore, Yi Qingtang did not know what Han Sangming wanted at this time. Han Sangming walked around the heavenly emperor, looking like he was sizing him up. After a long while, his gaze suddenly landed on Yi Qingtang. That's right, you absorbed all the destructive force that injured him. Yi Qingtang looked at Han Sangming, not knowing what he meant. One of the ancient forbidden bloodlines. Legend has it that the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline can devour everything in the world and convert the energy into itself. It is definitely a formidable bloodline. Have you ever thought of the dire consequences of keeping such a bloodline on you? Han Sangming suddenly smiled at Yi Qingtang. To her eyes, Han Kangming's smile was so familiar and yet also so foreign. This smile was similar to Ling Yan's. However, Yi Qingtang had never felt such terror from Ling Yan. There was a sharpness hidden in this smile. One wrong move, and her throat would be sliced apart. This was the foremost feeling that Han Songming was giving Yi Qingtang at that moment. It made her fearful and want to stay away from him. I'm very curious about your relationship with the Heavenly Emperor. Why are you helping him? Han Songming asked Yi Qingtang. I don't know him at all. I just can't bear to see an immortal emperor die like this. That's all, Yi Qingtang replied. Can't bear to see an immortal emperor die like this. Is that truly all? Again, the eerie smile was on Han Kangming's face. That's all, Yi Qingtang repeated firmly. Chapter 2634 Han Kangming's Ambush 5. Up to you. It is not important to me. Earlier on, the heavenly demon devouring bloodline was already stirring. It wanted to devour the immortal emperor's essence. Han Songming continued. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly when she heard Han Songming. Could it be that Han Songming had already sensed it from the beginning, but what did he want? Why did he keep mentioning her heavenly demon devouring bloodline? Woman, they'll give you two choices, Han Songming smiled. Just two. Yi Qingtang stared at Han Songming, and an ominous premonition arose in her heart. Han Songming ignored Yi Qingtang and continued. The first option is for me to kill you and take out your heavenly demon-devouring bloodline. The second option is for me to kill you, but preserve your soul. If you have the ability, you can think of a way to possess someone and be reborn. Of course, I don't care whether you possess a human, demon, or beast. How about it? You wish to take my heavenly demon-devouring bloodline. Yi Qingtang stared at Han Songming with a cold glint in her eyes. Not wish to take. Han Songming immediately shook his head and smiled. We'll take. Seeing that Yi Qingtang was silent, Han Songming continued. All right, they'll give you 3 counts to decide. 3, 2, 1. Han Songming counted down. Seeing that Yi Qingtang had not said anything, Han Songming smiled and said, Fine. Since you don't want to choose, I will choose for you. As he spoke, Han Songming moved his hand, and Yi Qingtang's body was suddenly gripped tightly by an invisible force. She could not move at all. Yi Qingtang could not resist this supreme power at all. She realized that even the deity ocean in her body was restrained by this invisible force and could not be activated. Yi Qingtang's expression changed slightly. Could it be that after she came to this era, the final outcome would be her death at Han Kangming's hands? In the past, Yi Qingtang had thought of the countless ways she might die. She even thought that she might be killed by the Heavenly Emperor. However, she never expected to be killed by Han Songming. This was truly a boundless world full of wonders. In the next second, without giving Yi Qingtang any chance to think further, Han Songming took a step forward and appeared beside Yi Qingtang. Woman, death is the price for possessing a forbidden bloodline. You don't have the ability to protect it. That is why you must die. As he spoke, Han Songming smiled and pointed at the area between Yi Qingtang's brows. Sensing the extremely overwhelming force of an immortal emperor, Yi Qingtang was powerless to resist. Even though she was much stronger than before, she was still as insignificant as an ant before an immortal emperor. Don't be afraid. Just as Yi Qingtang was feeling a little hopeless, an ethereal voice entered her ears and reached the depths of her heart. At the final moment before death, Yi Qingtang was surprised. Did she hear wrongly? Wasn't it Ling Yan's voice? Swoosh! A terrifying red light suddenly shot out of Yi Qingtang's body. The red light was too fast and attacked Han Songming. You can still use divine powers after being restricted by me. Not bad indeed. Han Songming gave a faint smile at the red light charging towards him. Han Songming waved his hand at the red light, wanting to disperse it. Chapter 2635 Shocking Change 1. In Han Kangming's eyes, this red light was laughable. In just an instant, Han Kangming's palm pierced through the red light. Surprise appeared in Han Kangming's eyes as the smile on his face froze. Yi Qingtang saw that the red light seemed to have a life of its own as it wrapped around Han Kangming's palm. Not only that, the red light continued to expand in Han Kangming's palm. In just a few breaths, it had already reached Han Kangming's forearm. What is this? Yi Qingtang stared at the red light and frowned. She found it increasingly strange and could not understand. At the same time, the unknown force that restrained Yi Qingtang gradually weakened and completely dissipated, returning her freedom. This is the power of the Karma bloodline? Han Sangming stood rooted to the ground and stared at the red light on his arm. Karma bloodline? Yi Qingtang was even more surprised when she heard that. In the lower realm, only one person possessed the Karma bloodline, and it was Ling Yin. However, Yi Qingtang felt that something was wrong. She was the only one who came to this distant era. Why was Ling Yan's Karma bloodline here? Yi Qingtang had the chance to escape, but after thinking about it, she chose to remain here to wait and see what would happen. To be fair, Yi Qingtang did not want anything to happen to Han Sangming. After all, in Yi Qingtang's era, Han Sangming did not do anything to her and even helped her. In this ancient era, Han Sangming still did not know Yi Qingtang, even though he wanted to kill her because of the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline. Yi Qingtang did not blame him. "Are you all right?" Yi Qingtang asked Han Sangming. As soon as she said that, even Yi Qingtang found her own question ridiculous. What kind of existence was Han Sangming? He was an immortal emperor, a top-notch expert in the world comparable to the Han Sangming. What could a red light do to him? "Woman, you have two bloodlines in your body, the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline and karma bloodline. How amazing!" Han Sangming stared at Yi Qingtang with no expression. Yi Qingtang was dumbfounded. Han Sangming had misunderstood. She did have the heavenly demon-devouring bloodline in her body, but the karma bloodline was not hers. This karma bloodline had nothing to do with her. If Yi Qingtang guessed correctly, Ling Yin must have left the karma bloodline in her body. Although Yi Qingtang did not know when Ling Yin left this bloodline in her, it was a fact. Moreover, Yi Qingtang thought that she saw Ling Yin in the ancient god karma tunnel. However, Yi Qingtang did not know what exactly happened. She was confused. "Woman, even if you have the karma bloodline, you are too naive to think you can use it against me." Han Sangming stared at Yi Qingtang and his lips curled up. There had to be a cause and effect for the karma bloodline. He had no link with this bloodline. How could it pose a threat to him? However, Han Kangming's expression changed again. His body and even his most fundamental power did not reject this karma bloodline at all. Not only that, his body was trying to welcome and merge with it. Chapter 2636, Shocking Change. 2. At that moment, Han Kangming's expression finally started to turn serious. He could not help sizing up Yi Qingtang again. Han Sangming used his heaven-defying supernatural powers to remove the karma bloodline spreading on his body. However, he realized that it was useless. This karma bloodline was like a sticky plaster cast. It had no intention of leaving at all. Instead, it became even tighter. A cold glint flashed across Han Kangming's eyes, and his killing intent surged. In the next second, a strong wind blew around them, and their clothes fluttered. The karma bloodline is indeed miraculous. But will it still be effective if the owner dies? Han Sangming stared at Yi Qingtang and asked indifferently. Yi Qingtang, she would never be able to clear her name with Han Sangming. The karma bloodline was really not hers. Swoosh. Han Sangming moved and was instantly beside Yi Qingtang. His suppressive aura made Yi Qingtang unable to move at all. The feeling of being restrained by an invisible force appeared again. All Yi Qingtang could do was stand rooted to the ground and watch Han Sangming deliver a fatal blow to her. However, Han Kangming's actions were rather strange. He was clearly attacking her, but he kept missing. Boom! A terrifying explosion spread throughout the entire place. Han Kangming's palm strike landed a distance away and shattered a mountain peak. At this moment, Han Sangming suddenly stopped and hugged his head with both hands. An indescribably painful expression appeared on his face, and a terrifying red glint surfaced in his indifferent eyes. "Get out!" Han Saming nearly lost control as he roared. The power of the Karma bloodline was trying to possess him. A dignified supreme immortal emperor was being possessed by someone else. If this news were to spread, it would probably make everyone laugh their heads off. Instantly, countless chaotic memories surged into Han Kangming's mind. I see. With a crazed expression, Han Sangming looked at Yi Qingtang, who was at a loss. "She is mine," Han Sangming shouted angrily. "You have no way to protect her. You're already dead. She can only belong to me. You don't belong to this era. Get lost. From the past to the future, you are me. I am you." Looking at the crazy Han Sangming, Yi Qingtang was baffled. She had no idea what was happening to Han Sangming. I am trying to possess myself. In that case, it'll destroy her, so that she won't have to suffer in the human world." As he spoke, endless, terrifying divine energy erupted from Han Kangming's body. Yi Qingtang was instantly restrained by some unknown force, and she moved towards Han Sangming involuntarily. "Miss Yi, don't be afraid. Woman, you're mine." Two completely different voices rang out from Han Kangming's mouth simultaneously. At this moment, Han Kangming's left eye turned blood red, its gaze extremely gentle. Meanwhile, his other eye revealed a terrifying coldness. Yi Qingtang stared at Han Sangming in surprise. There seemed to be two completely different independent personalities in Han Kangming's body. The blood-colored eye on Han Kangming's left appeared very familiar to Yi Qingtang. Ling Yan. Chapter 26:37 Shocking Change 3. Ling Yan. Yi Qingtang asked in surprise as she stared at Han Sangming. She was all too familiar with Ling Yan. His every move, mannerism, and tone were almost identical to the Ling Yan whom Yi Qingtang knew. At that moment, Yi Qingtang finally understood that the Karma bloodline that flew out from her body was indeed Ling Yan's. Yi Qingtang was surprised. When did Ling Yan enter the ancient god's Karma tunnel with her? Furthermore, what was Ling Yan doing now? Was he possessing the body of demon god Han Sangming? Everything had completely surpassed Yi Qingtang's understanding. There were two questions that Yi Qingtang could not understand. Firstly, she had no idea how Ling Yan entered the ancient god Karma tunnel with her. Moreover, Yi Qingtang was certain that Ling Yan had appeared several times in the ancient god Karma tunnel and the doomed hell. Each time he appeared, it was because she was in a daze. During that time, Yi Qingtang thought that it was just her hallucination. But now, it seemed that it was no hallucination. Ling Yan had indeed appeared. Secondly, even if Ling Yan entered the ancient god Karma tunnel with her, with Ling Yan's ability, would he dare to possess the body of the immortal Emperor Han Sangming? Was he courting death? Looking at the overall situation, the heavily injured and unconscious heavenly emperor who was now lying in the deep pit should be easier to possess, right? Even if Ling Yan had the terrifying ambition to possess an immortal emperor, why didn't he choose the heavenly emperor but instead targeted the demon god Han Sangming? Yi Qingtang could not understand all of this. She had never expected such a thing to happen after coming to this era. She never expected Ling Yan to enter this distant era with her. Ling Yan, is that you? Yi Qingtang looked at Han Sangming with a frown. An indescribable emotion surfaced in Han Kangming's blood-colored left eye, but he did not reply. Before Yi Qingtang could say anything, her body was already pushed to Han Kangming's side. In the next second, Han Kangming's right hand grabbed Yi Qingtang's throat. He stared at Yi Qingtang with a complicated expression. "I will bring you away from this world to avoid pain." Han Kangming's right eye regained its coldness and madness. As Han Sangming exerted force with his right hand, Yi Qingtang's body was lifted off the ground. "She wants to kill him. Want to kill me. How laughable is that?" Han Kangming's crazy voice sounded again. However, before Han Sangming could continue, his left hand grabbed his neck. "Yes, that's it. Let our bodies perish together. I can easily destroy your divine soul. You shouldn't exist in this era. Future me. Han Saming laughed maniacally. After my body is destroyed, I will destroy your soul and undergo rebirth to create a new body. Yi Qingtang, in the future, let me protect you. Han Saming continued to shout coldly. Can you do it? This time, it was Ling Yan's voice. Han Kaming's body seemed to be out of control, and he suddenly released Yi Qingtang's hand. She immediately retreated into the distance to ensure her safety. Chapter 2638 Shocking Change 4. However, before long, Han Saming gradually lost control and flew away. Yi Qingtang did not know what had happened and wanted to chase after him. However, Yi Qingtang's speed could not match up to Han Kaming's. Having no other voice, Yi Qingtang returned to her original position. Although Yi Qingtang was extremely puzzled, Ling Yan was not around and her queries could not be answered. In the distance, the red light had already covered Han Kaming's entire body. Han Saming chuckled. The me in this era has yet to fully establish his powers. After Han Saming finished speaking, the other half of his body seemed to be struggling crazily, wanting to break free from Ling Yan's control. However, it was all in vain. After about an hour, Han Kaming's right eye turned blood red. An indescribable luster appeared in his blood-red eyes. After a moment, they returned to their normal color. In this era, although my strength is not at its peak, it is enough. The corners of Han Kaming's lips curled up slightly. Unfortunately, I don't like my former appearance. Han Kaming's face changed drastically. If Yi Qingtang were here, she would definitely recognize that Han Kaming's face was Ling Yan's. Soon enough, Ling Yan raised his hand and Han Kaming's soul appeared. Pass me. I have to trouble you to continue being the demon god in this era. As Ling Yan finished speaking, a blood-colored light appeared and turned into a silver wolf. A few seconds later, the silver wolf turned into a human body. This blood-colored light was Ling Yan's former body. In the next second, Ling Yan placed Han Kaming's soul into that body. Pass me, I will seal you off for 50 years. After that, Miss Yi and I should have long left this era. Using you to deceive fate is the most suitable choice. The corners of Ling Yan's lips curled up slightly. He then waved his arm and sealed this body in the void. Ling Yan's plan was very successful. First, he used his own life as the price to open the ancient god karma tunnel. The final traces of Ling Yan's karma bloodline then entered this era with Yi Qingtang. In this distant era, not only did Yi Qingtang obtain a huge fortuitous opportunity, but Ling Yan also got his wish and possessed his former self. Although the two Han Kaming's past and future were the same person, their souls were completely independent. It was impossible for Ling Yan to remain forever in this era. Once he left, his disappearance from history would definitely arouse the suspicion of the fates. Therefore, Ling Yan had to leave his body, and after possessing the soul of the past era Han Sangming, he placed that soul into that empty body. Identical bodies, identical souls. A flawless plan. However, Ling Yan could not predict what would happen in the future. Nevertheless, he had already prepared for the worst. Perhaps, after returning to his own era, the Han Sangming whom he had sealed off would appear again. At that moment, Yi Qingtang walked into the deep pit and started to check on the injuries of the Heavenly Emperor. After she had absorbed the destructive energy from the Heavenly Emperor's body, his injuries were improving and he was rapidly healing. Chapter 2639 Cage Prison 1. Yi Qingtang waited until dusk before the unconscious Heavenly Emperor woke up. Seeing that the Heavenly Emperor had awakened, Yi Qingtang quickly retreated and prepared to leave. However, before Yi Qingtang moved too far, a shadow flashed across the void and appeared beside her. That shadow was none other than the Heavenly Emperor himself. The Heavenly Emperor stood in front of Yi Qingtang and stared at her expressionlessly. "You are the one who saved me." The Heavenly Emperor was the first to speak after a long while. Yi Qingtang was relieved when she saw that the Heavenly Emperor did not have any ill intentions toward her. Heavenly Demon Devouring Bloodline. I see. You are also the one who absorbed the destructive energy in my body, the Heavenly Emperor said slowly as he sized up Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback by the Heavenly Emperor's words. Even the Heavenly Emperor had detected her Heavenly Demon Devouring Bloodline. Seeing Yi Qingtang's startled expression, the Heavenly Emperor said indifferently, "Don't panic. I have no interest in your Heavenly Demon Devouring Bloodline." That's good. Yi Qingtang heaved a sigh of relief. If this Heavenly Emperor was like Han Songming from before, Yi Qingtang would not be able to fight him off. "What is your name?" the Heavenly Emperor asked Yi Qingtang. "My name is not important," Yi Qingtang said. "You have quite the personality. No one has ever dared to speak to me like that," the Heavenly Emperor said. "However, since you saved me, I will spare your life." Yi Qingtang, if I remember correctly, you were the one who warned me to be careful as I underwent the heavenly tribulation, the Heavenly Emperor continued. Yi Qingtang did not deny and nodded. "So you saw something that I cannot see, right?" The Heavenly Emperor looked at Yi Qingtang meaningfully. As expected, Yi Qingtang was not wrong. Even the Heavenly Emperor could not see the huge shadow with blood-red eyes behind the thundercloud. Visit Readle. Me for extra chapters. Do you know what happened and what attacked me after I underwent the 10th heavenly tribulation? The Heavenly Emperor asked Yi Qingtang. I did. Yi Qingtang had no choice but to tell the Heavenly Emperor what she saw. Behind the thundercloud was a huge shadow. After you underwent the 10th heavenly tribulation, it was that shadow that attacked you and severely injured you. Shadow. The Heavenly Emperor seemed to be deep in thought. From the looks of it, the secret legend is real. Secret legend? Yi Qingtang was rather curious about what the Heavenly Emperor was referring to. Seeing Yi Qingtang's puzzled expression, the Heavenly Emperor sat on the ground expressionlessly and patted the space in front of him. Sit. Oh, Yi Qingtang did not dare to disobey the Heavenly Emperor. She had no choice but to sit down. It looks like you're also very interested in the secret legend. You wish to know? The Heavenly Emperor said calmly. If you're willing to tell me, Yi Qingtang said. You really have a unique personality. The Heavenly Emperor looked at Yi Qingtang and immediately looked away. I can tell you about the secret legend. It concerns a cage prison. Cage prison? Yi Qingtang had a strange expression. That's right. The Heavenly Emperor looked up into the sky. The lower realm has always been a cage prison, and at the end of the void, there's an upper realm. What do you mean? Yi Qingtang asked. That so-called shadow which you saw must have been the guardian of the lower realm cage. Its existence is to prevent any living being from escaping from the lower realm. A cold glint surfaced in the Heavenly Emperor's eyes. Chapter 2640 Saint Yu 1. Cage Prison. Yi Qingtang looked at the Heavenly Emperor in astonishment. The lower realm was actually a prison? However, what did this cage represent? When did this cage first come about? Those who possess sufficient power will be able to ascend to the heavens and enter the upper realms and become a true god. However, the more true gods enter the upper realm, the more unstable the world will become. The Heavenly Emperor explained expressionlessly. Yi Qingtang frowned in deep thought after hearing the Heavenly Emperor's words. So what you mean is that the upper realm does not want the living beings in the lower realm to be able to ascend to the heavens. This is why the heavenly tribulation exists. Perhaps. Actually, Yi Qingtang was only a little curious about what the Heavenly Emperor said. She did not really care that much if the lower realm was a cage prison. This matter was too far-fetched an idea for Yi Qingtang. After a long time, the Heavenly Emperor's gaze landed on Yi Qingtang. I will be leaving. However, I don't like to owe others a favor. If there's a chance in the future, I will repay you. With that, the Heavenly Emperor stood up slowly and disappeared before Yi Qingtang's eyes. Half a month later, somewhere on a mountain peak, the Heavenly Emperor looked at the man in front of him and said coldly, "Hand it over." This man was none other than Han Songming. Han Saming immediately took out a jade bead and threw it to the Heavenly Emperor without saying a word. A hint of surprise appeared in the Heavenly Emperor's eyes. He had chased after Han Saming for half a year, but he was unwilling to hand over the Heaven Ascension Pearl. He did not expect him to be so compliant this time. It was a little puzzling. Do you find my actions unbelievable? Han Saming stared at the Heavenly Emperor and chuckled. I'm just curious. Why did you suddenly change your mind? The Heavenly Emperor asked Han Saming. Han Saming did not answer the Heavenly Emperor's question. He just smiled and said, You want to ascend to the heavens, but you don't know how long you can live a carefree life thereafter. What do you mean? The Heavenly Emperor asked expressionlessly. People dream of breaking out of the cage prison and ascending to the upper realm, growing wings and becoming an immortal. Isn't that laughable? Han Saming replied. There's no need for you to worry about me. The Heavenly Emperor stated calmly. You seem different today. Visit Reedel. Me for extra chapters. Why do you say that? Han Saming smiled. Just a feeling, the Heavenly Emperor answered. In the Heavenly Emperor's mind, Han Saming was extremely sinister and cunning. However, the Han Saming in front of him gave him a different feeling. Several years later, inside the great immortal temple, several years had passed since Yi Qingtang came to this strange era, but she still could not find a way to leave. Sister Yiyu. At the back of the mountain, Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo ran over together. Yi Qingtang returned to her senses and looked at the two boys. Feng Jiuyo and Feng Wuyin had grown a little, and their martial skills had already entered the sub-emperor realm. Years had passed since she parted ways with the Heavenly Emperor. By fate, Yi Qingtang came to the great immortal temple and became the disciple of the Nine Heavens Saint, the chief elder of the great immortal temple. After gaining a firm foothold in the great immortal temple, Yi Qingtang brought Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo here as well. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2641 Saint Yiyu 2. Over the past few years, Yi Qingtang had gone into seclusion to cultivate and rarely went out. She rarely appeared, even within the great immortal temple. Everyone knew that the Nine Heavens Saint of the great immortal temple had accepted a disciple, but no one knew who it was. Yi Qingtang had been in seclusion for several years, and her martial art skills had already entered the Emperor's stage. The Emperor's stage was completely different from the Divine Lord stage. There were a total of 9 levels to the Divine Lord realm, but there were only 3 different levels for the Emperor realm. They were the Worldly Emperor level, the Illusory Emperor level, and the Heaven Emperor level. Even so, most Emperor-level practitioners would spend their entire lives wandering around the Worldly Emperor level, never coming close to the Illusionary level. After being in seclusion for several years, Yi Qingtang's cultivation level had already entered the Illusionary Emperor stage, and was fast charging towards the Heaven Emperor level. As for how to return to her own era, Yi Qingtang did not know, but she never gave up trying to find opportunities. During this period of time, apart from finding a way to return to her own era, Yi Qingtang did not forget the power of the heart of the heavenly Tao. However, she still made no progress in that area. Madam, a moment later, an emperor-level figure entered the back mountain and looked at Yi Qingtang respectfully. Speak. Yi Qingtang looked at the person. Madam, the Nine Heavens Saint is looking for you. He wants you to go to the Saint's residence, the emperor-level person reported. Yi Qingtang nodded and said to Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo, the two of you cultivate well. Don't be lazy. Sister Yiyu, don't worry, Feng Jiuyo said. Well, work hard. Feng Wuyin chimed in. Yi Qingtang smiled and turned to leave. Inside the Saint's residence, an elder with white hair and beard sat in the main seat of the hall. Visit Reedel. Me for extra chapters. Master, Yi Qingtang said with cupped fists when she saw the elder. I heard that you came out of seclusion, so I asked you to come over. The white-haired elder sized up Yi Qingtang. This elder with white hair and beard sat in the distance, but he gave off an endless suppressive aura. His entire being was like an immovable mountain range. This aura was even more terrifying than the Heavenly Emperor and Han Sangming from several years ago. The Nine Heavens Saint was one of the saints of this era and also one of the founders of the Great Immortal Temple. He was an old supreme being who had lived for countless years. When Yi Qingtang first met the Nine Heavens Saint, the heavenly demon devouring bloodline stirred inside her body, and this was detected by the Nine Heavens Saint. However, the Nine Heavens Saint still accepted Yi Qingtang as his disciple. After that, the Nine Heavens Saint actually discovered that there was still a rare great Tao power in Yi Qingtang's body. He was extremely surprised, and Yi Qingtang became the Nine Heavens Saint's most favored disciple. Everyone knew that the Nine Heavens Saint had accepted a female disciple called Yi Yu and was prepared to groom this disciple to become the next saint. Therefore, everyone called Yi Qingtang Saint Yi Yu. "I've let Master worry about me all these years," Yi Qingtang smiled. You've already broken through from the worldly emperor level to the illusionary emperor level. The Nine Heavens Saint narrowed his eyes. "Master, I broke through about a year after I went into seclusion. Unfortunately, I encountered a bottleneck when breaking through to the Heaven Emperor level. My cultivation level has been increasing very slowly since then." Yi Qingtang sighed. If the strength of her martial art managed to increase at a steady pace, she would have broken through to the Heaven Emperor level a long time ago. Perhaps she would even be on the threshold of the Immortal Emperor stage now. Chapter 2642 Saint Yi Yu 3. Beware, in the realm of martial arts, you have to be calm and steady. You must not be impatient. Remember, haste does not always bring success. It is already a miracle for you to break through from the worldly emperor level to the illusory emperor level in such a short period of time. Many powerful figures with astonishing talents remain stuck at the worldly emperor level for their entire lives. Even until their deaths, they did not manage to even reach the threshold of the illusory level. Back then, even I had to spend 18 years to merely break through from the worldly level to the illusory emperor level. The Nine Heavens Saint advised Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang nodded and said, "Master, you are right. I'm too anxious. Since you've come out of seclusion this time, you should make a trip to the outside world," the Nine Heavens Saint continued after a while. Make a trip to the outside world? Yi Qingtang was confused by the Nine Heavens Saint's words. Why did he suddenly ask her to leave the great immortal temple to wander around the outside world? As if seeing Yi Qingtang's confusion, the Nine Heavens Saint stroked his white beard and said, "It's about the legacy of the fourth domain." The fourth domain? Yi Qingtang was astounded. In this era, the legacy of the fourth domain had actually been activated? That's right. The Nine Heavens Saint chuckled. The world is in chaos. The opening of the legacy of the fourth domain will alarm countless powerful figures in the world. How can my great immortal temple not join in the fun? You're my most beloved disciple, so you must represent me to take a look. If you're fated, you might even be able to enjoy a share of the benefits. Then, is Master not going? Yi Qingtang asked curiously. Regarding this, the Nine Heavens Saint shook his head and seemed to look rather resigned. Beware, Master has his own mission. Do you know what kind of demonic creatures are suppressed by this great immortal temple? If Master leaves, the consequences will be unimaginable. I see. Yi Qingtang nodded. Actually, Yi Qingtang also knew some rumors about the great immortal temple. Visit Readle me for extra chapters. It was rumored that the great immortal temple was formed by some monks tens of thousands of years ago. The purpose of the great immortal temple was to suppress all evil in the world. Deep underground beneath the great immortal temple were the devils sealed by those supreme monks from tens of thousands of years ago. In the following generations, no matter how the times changed, the great immortal temple remained the same. The strongest saints worked together to maintain the forbidden array formation. using it to continue suppressing the evil of the world. This was the reason why the Nine Heavens Saint could not leave the great immortal temple. Master, I understand. When should I set off? Yi Qingtang asked the Nine Heavens Saint. You just came out of seclusion. Before this, several teams of people from the great immortal temple have already left for the transit station between the divine venerate domain and the fourth domain. It is probably already time to leave. I will leave it up to you to decide when to set off. However, I advise you to leave as soon as possible so as to avoid missing out on any fortuitous opportunities, the Nine Heavens Saint advised Yi Qingtang. Master, I understand. With that, Yi Qingtang turned and left. 2 days later, Yi Qingtang finished her preparations and stabilized her cultivation level at the illusory Emperor's stage. She then left the great immortal temple and flew towards the transit station between the divine venerate domain and the fourth domain. Chapter 2643, Saint Yu. 4. To be honest, Yi Qingtang did not object to this fourth domain legacy mission. In fact, she was looking forward to it. All these years, Yi Qingtang had been searching for a way to absorb the power of her heart of the heavenly Tao, but to no avail. Not only that, she had no idea how to return her own era. Moreover, there was no news of Ling Yin and the demon god Han Songming over the past few years. Yi Qingtang only knew that Ling Yin turned into a red light and entered Han Kangming's body. Han Songming eventually lost control and disappeared. After that, Yi Qingtang had no idea what had happened. During this period, Yi Qingtang would use her status in the great immortal temple to send an emperor-level helper out of the temple to inquire about Han Songming, but to no avail. It was as if the demon god Han Songming had disappeared from the face of the earth. No matter how they tried, they could not find any traces of him. Yi Qingtang was also very worried about Ling Yin. She did not know what happened between Ling Yin and Han Songming. She felt that Ling Yin was too audacious. With Ling Yan's martial arts skills, he could be beaten to death by any random martial arts practitioner he met on the road. But Ling Yin dared to have designs on the demon god Han Songming. Previously, the Nine Heavens Saints said that the opening of the fourth domain's legacy had already alarmed the world's most powerful figures. Yi Qingtang believed that the supreme existences like the Heavenly Emperor and the demon god Han Songming would definitely not miss this opportunity and would definitely go. Indeed, Yi Qingtang had two motives for going there this time. Her first goal was to find Han Songming and find out about Ling Yan's whereabouts, whether he was dead or alive. Even if Han Songming wanted to attack her, Yi Qingtang was not afraid. After all, the Heavenly Emperor still owed her a huge favor. With the Heavenly Emperor's personality, he would definitely repay her kindness. If Yi Qingtang asked him, the Heavenly Emperor would not just stand by and do nothing. It should not be difficult for him to protect her. The second goal was for Yi Qingtang to see if she could use the fourth domain legacy to find a way to return her own era or to absorb the power of her heart of the heavenly Tao. As time passed, the seal of the former divine phoenix had been completely undone. Yi Qingtang, who is now at the illusionary emperor level, had naturally discovered the existence of the guide. Yi Qingtang used her mystical ability to seal the heart of the heavenly Tao again. However, the price of this mystical ability was too high, which resulted in a bottleneck in Yi Qingtang's cultivation progress. Otherwise, Yi Qingtang was confident that she would have broken through to the Heaven Emperor level half a year ago in the past. Yi Qingtang would bring Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo with her wherever she went. Firstly, she wanted these two youths to train more so that their skills could increase. Secondly, it had been a rather long time, but the Heavenly Demon Tribe branch had yet to make an appearance. Yi Qingtang was indeed worried. However, it would probably be too dangerous for the boys to go to the fourth domain legacy place with her. It was just not safe to bring Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo along. Even Yi Qingtang could not guarantee that she would be able to handle the dangers, much less protect Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo. Chapter 2644, Temple Holy Lord 1. For the next 2 days, Yi Qingtang did not rest at all, but rushed from the Great Immortal Temple to the Fourth Domain Transit Station. The so-called Fourth Domain Transit Station had existed for tens of thousands of years. In the earliest days, there was a teleportation portal in the transit station that could teleport people directly to the Fourth Domain. However, ever since the Fourth Domain disappeared and became a dead domain, this transit station had been completely abandoned. It no longer had the bustle and vibrancy from tens of thousands of years ago. Now that the Fourth Domain legacy had been activated and was hidden in the transit station, the place seemed to have regained some of its former glory. To put it bluntly, the Fourth Domain Transit Station had been abandoned a long time ago and had become a huge, deep forest canyon. It was said that there were many powerful demonic creatures in this deep forest canyon. However, following the opening of the Fourth Domain legacy, nearly all the top experts of the Divine Venerate domain were alerted. A large number of experts had swamped the deep forest canyon, killing all those demonic creatures. Yi Qingtang descended from the sky and arrived at the periphery of the forest. As far as the eye could see, the periphery of the deep forest was basically packed with people. As the news of the opening of the Fourth Domain legacy spread, even some of the weaker family clans had come here just to witness a historical event. Many experts were not qualified to enter and just planned to pick up any scraps. It was not just the Divine Venerate domain. Be it the Blue Sky domain or the Mixed Heavens Holy domain, such a situation was very common whenever extraordinary legacies were opened. Yi Qingtang did not mind. The outer perimeter of the forest was filled with independent experts or ordinary family clans. Peak experts who were truly qualified would not remain in the outer perimeter. They had already entered the forest. Yi Qingtang did not dawdle, but flew towards the deep forest. Before Yi Qingtang could enter the depths, she was stopped by a worldly emperor-level expert, leading over a dozen ninth heaven-level divine lord practitioners. "Excuse me, why are you standing in my way?" Yi Qingtang asked coldly as she swept her gaze across the worldly emperor-level expert and his men. The worldly emperor-level practitioner sized up Yi Qingtang and sneered in disdain. "Little girl, do you know that this is the Fourth Domain legacy place? Where are you from, and what kind of force are you? How dare you barge in without any notice?" The man stared at Yi Qingtang and laughed coldly. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. After the opening of the Fourth Domain legacy, many supreme forces from the Divine Venerate domain had already stationed themselves in advance. Those powerful factions had already completely sealed off the perimeter in order to prevent random people from sneaking in. They did not give ordinary family clans and independent cultivators the slightest chance. Anyone who dared to try and trespass would be killed. "Great Immortal Temple. Scram," Yi Qingtang said impatiently. As soon as Yi Qingtang finished speaking, the worldly emperor-level cultivator and some of the other emperor-level practitioners standing nearby roared with laughter. Chapter 2645, Temple Holy Lord 2. Everyone in the Divine Venerate domain knew about the Great Immortal Temple. There was no need to elaborate on the temple's reputation. The Great Immortal Temple was one of the top supreme factions in the present world, and there were not many factions who could compare to them. However, the people from the Great Immortal Temple had already been stationed there since news of the Fourth Domain legacy spread. They had already entered the depths a few days ago. Now, this woman had appeared out of nowhere and was claiming she was from the Great Immortal Temple. It was truly laughable. However, in order not to cause too much trouble, the worldly emperor-level practitioner stared at Yi Qingtang and smiled. "All right, since you say that you are from the Great Immortal Temple, show me the Great Immortal Temple token. If you can take it out, we will let you in," but at that point, a cold glint surfaced in the eyes of that worldly emperor-level practitioner. He stared at Yi Qingtang and continued, "But if you can't take it out, it means you actually dare to pretend to be from the Great Immortal Temple. Not only will you be unable to enter, but you will also probably die here." The impatience in Yi Qingtang's eyes intensified. The worldly emperor-level practitioner was asking for her to show the great immortal temple token, which would prove she was really from the temple. No one in the outside world knew about Yi Qingtang's status as a disciple of the Nine Heavens Saint. There was also no way Yi Qingtang would take out the token just for anybody. What? You don't have it. Seeing that Yi Qingtang remained unmoving, a ninth heaven-level divine, Lord middle-aged man, standing beside the worldly emperor-level cultivator glared at Yi Qingtang coldly and snorted. Scram. Yi Qingtang lost all her patience. You are courting death. Everyone, including the worldly emperor-level expert, was enraged by Yi Qingtang's words. This woman was really audacious. Not only did she pretend to be someone from the great immortal temple, she even wanted to barge into their midst. However, before Yi Qingtang could say anything else, the heads of the worldly emperor-level practitioner and his men were instantly torn apart, spraying blood everywhere. Yi Qingtang frowned. She could have done it, but she definitely did not attack. She did not kill the worldly emperor-level practitioner and his men. Before Yi Qingtang could think further, miserable cries sounded from afar. Almost instinctively, Yi Qingtang looked into the distance. Just that one glance made Yi Qingtang's expression change. An extremely beautiful woman dressed in white appeared like a holy halo. Her entire body emitted a terrifying aura. Her eyes seemed to contain no human emotions. Anyone who dared to stand in her way would be instantly killed. However, to Yi Qingtang's surprise, that woman looked exactly like her. They were completely identical. Yi Qingtang was bewildered. Why did this woman look like her? However, although they looked the same on the outside, Yi Qingtang's martial arts skills could not be compared to this woman. If Yi Qingtang guessed correctly, this woman had probably already reached the immortal emperor level. An immortal emperor could topple everything with a single thought. She was an existence that stood at the peak of the martial arts world. Chapter 2646 Temple Holy Lord 3 Yi Qingtang felt a lingering fear in her heart as she looked at the immortal emperor-level figure who looked exactly like her. The worldly emperor and ninth heaven-level divine lord practitioners were not deliberately killed by that immortal emperor. They were just collateral damage from that immortal emperor's aura. An immortal emperor. It's an immortal emperor, someone called out loudly, causing the many cultivators guarding the perimeter to tremble in fear. One had to know that it was impossible for there to be an immortal emperor among the guards. Every single immortal emperor was a core expert of supreme power. How could they be left behind to guard the perimeter? All of them had already entered the depths. Meanwhile, emperor-level practitioners were as weak as ants before an immortal emperor. They had no way to fight back and could only wait to be slaughtered. After knowing that the intruder was an immortal emperor, no one dared to behave audaciously anymore. They immediately retreated in all directions. Who would dare to obstruct an immortal emperor? Did they want to die? Seeing that no one was going to stop her, the immortal emperor, who looked exactly like Yi Qingtang, finally suppressed her killer aura and walked deeper into the depths as if no one was there. At that moment, surprise filled Yi Qingtang's eyes. She suddenly remembered that when she just entered this strange era and saved the young Feng Juyo, he told her that there was an immortal emperor who looked extremely similar to Yi Qingtang. He also mentioned the Temple of Paragon. Could this be? Yi Qingtang was deep in thought as she watched the immortal emperor leave. Could that immortal emperor just now be that paragon from the Temple of Paragon? Back then, in Yi Qingtang's original era, she had been captured by the Temple of Paragon, who took her to be a clone of the paragon and wanted to execute her. Everything that happened in that era felt like yesterday to Yi Qingtang. It was not distant at all, and she could recall every detail. If not for the fact that she kept arguing that she was not a clone of the paragon, Yi Qingtang would have already been executed by the Temple of Paragon. After that, not only did Yi Qingtang not lose her life, she was also treated by the Temple of Paragon as the reincarnation of the paragon. Yi Qingtang was not stupid. from the Temple of Shadows to the Temple of Paragon in the Mixed Heavens holy domain. Everything was linked and connected to her somehow. It would be ridiculous to believe that it was all just a coincidence. It was as if everything was predestined. At the very least, there was one thing that could not be refuted. The Holy Lord of the Temple of Shadows was indeed a clone of the Temple of Paragon's Paragon. She was first treated as the Holy Lord of Shadows. Then she was treated as the reincarnation of the Temple of Paragon's Paragon. Then, was it possible that she was indeed the reincarnation of the Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord? But if that was really the case, Yi Qingtang shuddered when she recalled what the big yellow dog said to her back then. The big yellow dog had once used karmic divination to help divine her future, and the result of the divination was that she had killed herself. Yi Qingtang would naturally not commit suicide, but if she was the reincarnation of the Temple of Paragon's Paragon, and she had arrived in this past era, Chapter 2647 Temple Holy Lord 4. Perhaps she could understand the meaning behind the yellow dog's words now. She would eventually kill herself. Could it be that in her previous life, the Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord had killed her in this past era? If she could understand it this way, everything would make sense. However, Yi Qingtang did not expect the Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord to have any reason to kill her. She couldn't possibly anger the Temple of Paragon's Paragon so much just because she looked like her. So if the Temple of Paragon's Paragon was so petty, Yi Qingtang believed that it was impossible for her to become an immortal emperor. Regardless, that possibility still existed. Yi Qingtang made up her mind that no matter what, she must try her best to distance herself from that Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord. She could not afford to offend her at all. In this era, the Temple of Paragon's Paragon had not died yet. It was even possible that she was at her peak. If she had really died in her hands in her previous life, this manner of death was a little too underserved. Yi Qingtang remained outside and was in no hurry to enter the depths. She would enter after the Temple of Paragon's Paragon had walked further away, so that they would not bump into each other. The other powerful figures now looked at Yi Qingtang in a drastically different light. There was no longer the earlier indifference and disdain. Instead, there was fear and unease. The reason was very simple. Yi Qingtang's appearance was exactly the same as that immortal emperor who had killed so many people earlier. This woman, could she be a clone of that immortal emperor? One of the emperor-level cultivators looked at Yi Qingtang nervously. Yi Qingtang was speechless. Was she destined to always be a clone? In her own era, she was treated as a clone. Now that she had come to this past era, she was still being treated as a clone. Did she have the word clone written all over her face? No, this aura doesn't feel like a clone. Could she be her twin sister? Twin sisters. Yes, that's very possible. Twin sisters, that's not important. She can't be an immortal emperor too, right? Yi Qingtang was not interested in the crowd's discussion. She just waited quietly at the side. It was not until late at night that Yi Qingtang finally took action. As everyone watched, she strode into the depths. And this time, no one dared to stop Yi Qingtang. That powerful, immortal emperor from earlier today was a lesson learned. After all, these two people looked exactly the same. No one dared to stop them. Late at night, the depths of the fourth domain legacy were bone-chillingly cold. An oppressive aura enveloped everything, and the air was filled with the faint smell of blood. Yi Qingtang was not surprised by this. Countless major and minor factions had entered the depths, including the top factions from the Divine Venerate domain. The first-rate factions would not hesitate to slaughter those weaker factions and independent cultivators who managed to sneak in. Chapter 2648 Black Tower 1. In this world, the weak would remain prey to the strong and had to fight for opportunities. Even if the weak were lucky enough to encounter a fortuitous opportunity, they would still be hunted down by the strong. Just like in Yi Qingtang's previous life, She had the so-called heart of the demon god in her body, but was hunted for her entire life. It was extremely vexing. After entering the depths, Yi Qingtang started being very cautious. There were many powerful demonic creatures here. However, along the way, Yi Qingtang did not even see anything at all. It was likely that those powerful demonic beings had already been wiped out by those powerful factions. Otherwise, the demonic beings were already in hiding. Currently, the most powerful experts in the world had already gathered in this region. No matter how powerful the demonic creatures were, they would not choose to clash head-on with those beings. It was more likely that they would go into hiding. After Yi Qingtang entered the depths, she kept looking for the main camp of the great immortal temple. However, there were no traces of them at the moment. In fact, it was completely deserted all around her. Yi Qingtang guessed that the fourth domain legacy had not been activated yet. The factions should be waiting near the legacy. However, Yi Qingtang did not know where the legacy was. Actually, Yi Qingtang did not intend to fight for the fourth domain legacy. She just wanted to use this opportunity to see if she could find a way to leave this era or absorb the power of the heart of the heavenly Tao. All the elite cultivators would definitely be coveting the core legacy. With Yi Qingtang's skills, fighting for the core legacy would be the equivalent of suicide. After searching for about 2 days in the depths, Yi Qingtang finally passed through the deep forest and arrived at the canyon on the third morning. It was an endless canyon filled with green mountains and rivers, as if it was a paradise on earth. In the middle of the valley was a pitch-black tower that reached the clouds. It looked very dilapidated. When she neared that tower, a strange expression surfaced in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Her body trembled uncontrollably, rejecting that tower. What's going on? Yi Qingtang's expression grew increasingly strange. She was also very curious about this pitch-black tower. As if drawn by some force, she instinctively walked towards the tower. However, when Yi Qingtang approached the pitch-black tower, she felt dizzy and nauseous. There seemed to be countless treasures hidden in the pitch-black tower. Yi Qingtang yearned for them, as if she was possessed. However, before Yi Qingtang could enter the tower, someone gave her left shoulder a heavy pat. Yi Qingtang returned to her senses. Looking at the tower again, it was no longer the same as before. It was engulfed in a terrifying demonic aura. If she had really entered the tower, the consequences would be unimaginable. Stop moving forward. You'll die. A gentle voice entered Yi Qingtang's ears. Yi Qingtang was stunned and turned around instinctively. It was the woman dressed in white. She was gazing meaningfully at the pitch-black tower in front of her. Chapter 2649 Black Tower 2. It's her. Yi Qingtang's expression changed when she saw the woman standing behind her, her hand still on her left shoulder. The Temple of Paragon, Holy Lord, who looked exactly like her. The woman in white looked away from the black tower, and her bright eyes landed on Yi Qingtang. When the woman saw Yi Qingtang's appearance, surprise surfaced in her eyes. They were completely identical. At that moment, the woman's right hand was on Yi Qingtang's left shoulder. Yi Qingtang did not dare to make any movements. If she accidentally angered this immortal emperor, it would be very easy for her to kill her. Yi Qingtang did not want the yellow dog's prediction to come true. Why do you look like me? The woman asked Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang was at a loss for words. How should she explain? That they were not from the same era? That she was her reincarnation? Or this was purely a coincidence? The world was wide and filled with all sorts of strange mysteries. I would like to know too, Yi Qingtang replied helplessly. In fact, Yi Qingtang was speaking the truth. She did not know why she looked identical to the Temple of Paragon's Paragon. She also wanted to know the reason. As for the reincarnation theory, Yi Qingtang had no idea if it was true. She did not have any evidence. It really is a boundless world. There are all sorts of strange things, the woman in white commented after sizing up Yi Qingtang for a long time. Yi Qingtang, I created a clone a few days ago. If not for the difference in auras, I would have thought you were my clone, the woman in white continued when she saw that Yi Qingtang did not speak. Clone. Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback. If she was not wrong, that should be the Holy Lord of the Temple of Shadows. Yi Qingtang could still remember that when she first arrived in the central mainland, she was mistaken by the Temple of Shadows as the Holy Lord. After that, she was taken to the Temple of Shadows, filled with worry and fear. Visit Readel. Me for extra chapters. Miss, which faction are you from? The woman in white continued to probe. Great Immortal Temple. Yi Qingtang replied honestly. Oh, rumor has it that there are thousands of fiendish demons suppressed under a great immortal temple in the divine venerate domain. Are you referring to that same temple? The woman in white asked. That's right. Yi Qingtang nodded. There's only one great immortal temple in the divine venerate domain. It had to be said that Yi Qingtang's impression of this temple of Paragon's Paragon was all from hearsay in the mixed heavens holy domain. By the time of her original era, the Paragon had already passed away and only lived on in rumors. Now that Yi Qingtang was personally meeting the Paragon, she realized that this immortal emperor did not match the rumors. She seemed to be much more amiable. Miss, I am from the mixed heavens holy domain and not a native to your divine venerate domain, the woman in white continued. Seeing Yi Qingtang's strange expression, the woman smiled. I don't know why, but after seeing you, I just want to be closer to you. It's as if there's some kind of magic power in you that attracts me. Perhaps it is because of our appearances. My name is Yi. Yi Yu. I wonder. Yi Qingtang stared at the woman in white. Seeing that she was quite amiable and gentle, she decided to chat more. Chapter 2650 Black Tower 3. Miss Yu, just call me Ayao, said the woman in white. Ayao. Yi Qingtang was deep in thought. This name was very familiar to her. Back in her era, she had also been called Ayao by the Holy Son of Shadows. However, the Ayao that the Holy Son referred to was the Holy Lord of Shadows and just a clone. This Ayao in front of her was the real original body, the supreme paragon of the Temple of Paragon in the mixed heavens holy domain. Miss Ayao, what a nice name. Yi Qingtang smiled. Missy is really good with words. I saw that Missy was attracted by this pitch-black tower just now, but this tower is a little strange. There's a monstrous, demonic aura surrounding it. It's best if Missy doesn't get too close, the woman in white cautioned. Yi Qingtang had already discovered this. However, she felt that something was amiss. This tower seemed to be inexplicably linked to her. It was precisely because of this connection that Yi Qingtang fell into a trance and wanted to enter to take a look. I keep feeling that this tower seems to be linked to me in some way. The Temple of Paragon's Paragon suddenly said in a subconscious manner. Yi Qingtang's expression became even more bewildered. She looked at the Paragon. The two of them were thinking the same thought. Why? Could it be that this black tower had some kind of magical power that made everyone who saw it have such thoughts? Or could it be, Ayao, do you want to go in together to take a look? Yi Qingtang suggested to the Paragon. Yi Qingtang was not confident of entering the tower alone. However, if she brought this Paragon in with her, she believed that they would be able to escape in time if there was any danger. After all, this was an immortal emperor. The Paragon was clearly tempted by Yi Qingtang's suggestion. It was true that the Temple of Paragon's Paragon was indeed very curious about this black tower. She kept feeling that it was linked to her, and it should be no problem to just take a look. In the end, the Paragon nodded at Yi Qingtang. Let's go and take a look then. But before we do this, I'm a little curious if Miss Yu is from the divine venerate domain? The woman in white stared at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang did not know why the Paragon was suddenly asking this question. Nevertheless, she shook her head very honestly and said, I'm the same as you, Ayao. I'm not from the divine venerate domain. I'm also from the mixed heavens holy domain. Oh, surprise flashed across the Paragon's eyes when she heard Yi Qingtang's reply. That's really strange. Miss Yu is also from the mixed heavens holy domain, but with Miss Yes skills, I should have already known of you if you were really from that domain. An illusionary emperor-level practitioner was considered one of the top experts in the mixed heavens holy domain. There was no illusionary emperor-level cultivator who was unknown in that domain. The Temple of Paragon's Paragon was curious how Yi Qingtang managed to remain anonymous in the mixed heavens holy domain. I came to the divine venerate domain a long time ago. Yi Qingtang found a random reason. Yes, I wonder if Miss Yu has any plans to return to your hometown. A few years ago, I created the Temple of Paragon in the mixed heavens holy domain, but am currently short of manpower. If Miss Yu has any plans to return, you can come to my Temple of Paragon and manage it with me. The woman in white smiled at Yi Qingtang. Chapter 2651 Black Tower 4. Actually, the Paragon had no idea what was happening to her today. It was just that after seeing Yi Qingtang, she somehow felt that Yi Qingtang was filled with some kind of bewitching power that attracted her. The Paragon subconsciously wanted to get closer to her. If it was in the past, someone who looked so similar to her might have already annoyed her so much that she would have killed her. The Paragon was not the only one who felt this way. Even Yi Qingtang had this inexplicable feeling. For no discernible reason, she had a good impression of the Paragon. I have no intention of returning to my hometown for the time being, but that may change. Perhaps I will return one day, Yi Qingtang said to the Temple of Paragon's Paragon. Yi Qingtang had already planned to return to the Blue Sky domain and also take a look at the Mixed Heavens Holy Domain before leaving this era. Miss Yu, I've been an orphan for as long as I can remember. I've never seen my parents before and was abandoned right after birth. I was wondering if you and I could be twins since you look so similar to me. The woman in white suddenly changed the topic. Yi Qingtang was at a loss for words. Probably not. I wonder if Miss Yu lives with her parents. If so, where are they? Perhaps you can bring me to take a look. Maybe it's just as I thought. Otherwise, how could two people who are unrelated to each other look identical? The Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord continued. Not only did they look identical, but she also had an inexplicable sense of intimacy with Yi Qingtang. Could this be the legendary family bond? Yi Qingtang was in a dilemma. How was she supposed to respond? Logically speaking, her parents should not have been born yet, right? Even if her biological father was a supreme expert who had lived for thousands of years, her mother was definitely not born yet. Even Yi Qingtang's maternal grandfather was probably not born yet. Ayao. To be honest, I'm also an orphan. I've never met my biological parents. They abandoned me at birth. Yi Qingtang could only sigh helplessly. Actually, after careful consideration, Yi Qingtang was not lying. Even in her own era, Yi Qingtang had never seen her biological parents. In a sense, she had indeed been abandoned. Oh, the Paragon was surprised by Yi Qingtang's words. In that case, Miss Yu, not only do you look like me, even your background. We are the same, the Paragon mused. For some reason, the Paragon trusted Yi Qingtang's story completely and did not suspect a thing. Actually, Yi Qingtang did not want to lie to Ayao, but if she told the truth, she would probably be treated as a lunatic. Who would believe that she had returned to this distant past from the future, and that she might even be Ayao's reincarnation? Wouldn't she be foretelling her death? If you told any other immortal emperor that you were her reincarnation, that immortal emperor would probably kill you with a single slap the moment you finished speaking. Claiming to be the reincarnation of someone was as good as cursing the person to death if someone told Yi Qingtang that she was her reincarnation. Chapter 2652, Not Gentle at All. 1. Especially in this era, saying such words would make you an instant lunatic, and Yi Qingtang was no fool. She knew very well what should and should not be said. I keep feeling that I might be linked to you, Miss Yu. The Paragon smiled at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang smiled back at her. There were indeed connections. In her era, be it the Temple of Shadows or the Temple of Paragon, there were all kinds of connections. Ayao, I think so too, Yi Qingtang said to the Paragon. Miss Yu, why don't we become sworn sisters? The Paragon suddenly suggested. The latest underscore up and corsodies are on underscore website. Yi Qingtang was stunned, and disbelief appeared on her face. The paragon of the Temple of Paragon wanted to become sworn sisters with her. Wasn't this too unbelievable? Ayao, you have the body of an immortal emperor. You want to become sworn sisters with me? Yi Qingtang sounded slightly surprised. The paragon replied nonchalantly, how many immortal emperors are there in this world? If I base all my relationships on cultivation level, wouldn't I be forever alone? Yi Qingtang was rendered speechless by the paragon's explanation. She never expected her to be like this. In Yi Qingtang's era, be it the Holy Lord of the Temple of Shadows or the paragon of the Temple of Paragon, Yi Qingtang had never seen the original body. Everything she knew was just from hearsay and rumors. Visit for a better underscore user experience. If Missy you met someone she likes, would that person have to possess the same cultivation level in order for you to befriend her? The paragon chuckled when she saw that Yi Qingtang had remained silent. Yi Qingtang instinctively shook her head. Her gaze landed on the paragon. Of course not. That's good then. So, is Missy you willing? If it's not convenient for you, it's fine as well. The paragon smiled. I'm very happy that Sister Ayao holds me in such high regard. How could I reject you? This must be my good karma from my previous life. Yi Qingtang pondered for a moment before replying. Not only did Yi Qingtang have a very favorable impression of this paragon in front of her, but she also wanted to get close to her. Even if that was not the case, would anyone ever reject a supreme immortal emperor who wanted to become sworn sisters with her? The latest underscore of corsodies are on underscore the website. That's good. With a casual wave of her hand, the scene changed drastically. At that moment, there was no black tower or canyon. Yi Qingtang and the paragon arrived in a hall. Yi Qingtang was no stranger to this main hall. Although there were many small details that were different, she could still tell at a glance. The Temple of Paragon. Surprise surfaced in Yi Qingtang's eyes as she looked around. Yi Qingtang was certain that this was the Temple of Paragon. Yi Qingtang frowned. Did the paragon bring her from the divine venerate domain to the Temple of Paragon in the mixed heavens holy domain? Illusion. Yi Qingtang contemplated quietly. Visit. For a better underscore user experience, seeing Yi Qingtang's strange expression, the paragon looked at her and said, don't panic. This place is just an illusion. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.